It's on! Hello, everybody. Welcome to Disney Parks Talk Live, our very first show of a brand new year, 2022. Today is January 3rd. We are excited to talk the week in Disney Park news with you. My name is Doobie, co-founder of Laughing Place, co-host of Disney Trivia Live, and normally the co-host of this show, but my wife, Rebecca, unfortunately is not here for our first show. So it's boys' night out. We will see what happens. Joining me over there is, no, you always last. Joining me down there is the vice president of blah, 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 and Southern Cal, blah, blah, and Star Wars, blah, 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 Mike Celestino.
Hello.
And over there, the vice president. You went to Typhoon Lagoon. I really should have had that video ready today. The vice president of all things surfing, Jeremiah Good.
Hello. Aloha.
Aloha. I would just like to remind you, we're live today. If you have any questions on anything, just feel free to put them in the chat. We'll always do our best to accommodate, but things are kind of quiet at the end of the year. We're going to be able to do a little bit of reflection, maybe a little bit of looking ahead, because there's not a whole lot of news. However, hi, Donna, perhaps the biggest story. What did I just do? I hit the wrong button. Hi, Donna. Perhaps the biggest story in all of 2021 happened right towards the tail end of last year. And that is, let's get a good screenshot here. That is the Daddy Pig roller coaster has begun testing over at the Peppa Pig Park. And I'm excited. Jeremiah, how excited are you for this?
On a scale from 1 to 10, I'm a DS.
Did you really have to count in your head?
I haven't spoke Spanish in many muy time.
So, of course, the Peppa Pig theme park, a part of the Legoland Resort, but a separate park from Legoland, will be opening on February 24th, and one of the highlights will be the Daddy Pig roller coaster, and look how exciting that is. Do you know, Jeremiah? I know you've gotten most of the preview work on this. Does it go at any point on the ride?
I did not get confirmation from that. I know that there will be some going on, I'm sure, but I don't know if it's going to be on the coaster or if it's going to be over at the in the puddle park.
Mike, do you have any thoughts on Peppa Pig?
Yeah, I was going to ask, why is the front of the Peppa Pig roller coaster Mickey Mouse's torso?
All right, let's get this picture back up here. Let's see what's wrong with Mike's eyesight. All right, Mike, you make a very good point.
Well, Mike is colorblind. He can't see black from white, I know. So,
as you'll see later on, there will be a pig riding in the front row. Is this just a concept art with a pig riding the ride, or will the first car be a pig car? Do you know?
I do not know that. That's something we should definitely refer to some of our contacts for.
Yeah, I know you have a really good contact over at Legoland. I'd love to get the lowdown on that.
Mike, you win. Okay.
What was that? I missed it.
It's the Mickey Mouse with white buttons. It is designed after Mr. Pig or Papa Pig or Daddy Pig. Sorry.
Daddy Pig.
It's his car.
You know, which one of us has kids here? Which one of us knows all about Peppa Pig?
I am learning more and more about Peppa Pig every few weeks, it seems. So,
and some Disney fans will be happy because back here this says Fun Fair. So
yeah, they're just relocating. But on the complete flip side of that, the more family-friendly roller coaster was announced today. Also, did you have that planned for today's talk?
No, but let that stop you. Go ahead.
Icebreaker over at SeaWorld Orlando was announced to be opening, and I don't have that exact date in front of me, but it's mid-February. I know the previews start at the end of the month. I'm sure Tony can just type in the date for the official opening in our comments.
I hope he's there. I don't know if he's on right now, but I got it right here. I'll get it in just a second. So you said this is a nice family-friendly coaster?
Absolutely. This one, I could see having no height limit. It's going to be for the entire family.
Laughing Place does not condone the entire family riding this monstrosity. 17, thank you very much, Tony said right here on the article, is when this terrifying attraction is set to open at SeaWorld Orlando.
No, put up the let's watch some of the POV there. This looks, you can see it's a family friendly coaster. Look at that.
Well, that's a kid, all
See?
right.
Child.
All right, let's watch this. We've got time.
Oh, this looks kind of like a electric eel a little bit. Oh no, but the track's not a loop. Okay.
No, it has back and forth and then a center part. I think it is very similar. I know that SeaWorld kind of just reused that. Donna, the kid looks happy as can be. Look at him on his coaster having fun.
Brian says Icebreaker does not come close to RMC. This is like over my head. All right. That was not actually our biggest news. We kind of sidetracked there because I'm a Peppa Pig fan as the father of a former young child, older child. But the actual biggest news in the world of Disney this past week was the long-awaited, eagerly anticipated reopening of, and in a way, this is kind of a momentous occasion because, most of the hotels have reopened, all of the theme parks have reopened, Blizzard Beach has reopened, Mini Golf has reopened, Disney Springs has reopened, but there was one park that hadn't reopened, and now it has.
Yes.
Typhoon Lagoon.
All of the parks of Walt Disney World, all 6 of them have now officially reopened post shutdown because we have 6 parks here.
So Jeremiah went there, took a trip in his street clothes and a camera like any crazy person at a water park. What did you find out?
Hey, at least I wasn't live streaming. I felt that's a bit strange to do, and there were some people out there live streaming. Whatever they want to do, that's great, but that's the limit I do. No, I definitely took a walk around. It was a beautiful morning. It wasn't too busy. I mean, a lot of people were expecting to be busy, but we have to remember that without it being part of one of the annual passes and having to purchase the one-day ticket, it's no longer a, hey, let's go. I was expecting a lot of me's there, the bloggers, vloggers, everybody, and really I only saw maybe 3 or 4 other people that were there doing what I was doing.
So no annual passes include a water park? There's no way to include a water park in an annual pass right now?
No, you can. You have to pay extra for it, but it's not
Okay,
like the old days where it's built into one. Yeah, it beautiful. Wasn't busy at all. Wasn't too.
The soul for a soul. Yeah.
Pretty much. Hey, at least this is the better water park. That was for Rebecca. But some of the nice things, they've added in a couple of new menu items. They did the hey cone and the other cone that I can't pronounce.
That's a tough one.
Yeah. It's Dole Whip, and it's great food. Mini donuts. One of the nice things is the refillable mugs, which is really one of the best deals in any theme park, I want to say. It's $12 for the day, and then if you come back, it's $9. Like, I don't go to the water park enough, but I almost bought that. And there's the hey cone.
Hey, with a monkey. So, Jeremiah, I know you put up a picture of the wave pool, or a video of the wave pool. You tweeted one of those, but tell me the giant wave was going as well.
Yes. I think if you scroll down, there's one of the giant wave going.
What's this?
That is a shark cage photo op outside of the Misadventure Falls.
That's hilarious. Did you notice anything really new in the park at all?
They just refreshed some of the props. And that was one of the things I was strolling around really looking for anything that was standout. If you scroll down a little bit more, there's one of the boat works. They kind of refreshed that whole propped area. Put in some new plants. It looks beautiful, but there's nothing there stood out as, oh wow, this is brand new to me, other than the shark cage. Yeah, I think the wave is in some of those.
Lazy River is so good. All right. Is Brian correct? Santa's Winter Wonderland mini golf is not reopened.
Yes, it's been opened for many moons now, actually.
So everything is. Are both Fantasia and the
Yes.
so everything's open.
Yep.
Just not at the same time, as Tony said.
No.
Cool. So it's really nice to have Typhoon Lagoon back. I'm actually really excited about that. Be even more excited if I lived there. Mike Celestino, what's new at the Disneyland Resort? Anything you need to talk about?
Not that I'm aware of.
Here, let's talk about this one. I should have led you in better. I'm really bad at this job.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, grad night's coming back.
I need Rebecca. So after no grad night the past 2 years, it is coming back to the Disneyland Resort. Mike, did you do grad night?
No, I went to high school in Long Island, New York.
They didn't fly you out to Disneyland to do it?
Nope.
Drive down to Disney World? No?
I had to sit on a bus for like 2 hours to go to grad night.
So you did grad night, Jeremiah?
Yes. I actually didn't do my grad night. I did grad night the year after with my date. But that was back in the days when you still had to dress up, wear a jacket and a tie, and you'd get there after the park closed and you'd have the entire park, where now it's mix in and there's 12 different levels that schools can do.
It was a lot different, but I'm glad to see it's back. I did not do grad night because I did not graduate high school. I'm still working on my GED. That's not true. Mike, last time you were at the park, Mike, how did Paradise Bay look?
I had a bunch of scaffolding all over it. That's my recollection of the last time I was there.
Cool.
I think it was partially refilled because a couple times ago it was completely drained, maybe like a month or two ago. And I think it's been partially refilled since.
Sorry, give me just a sec. Okay, so that's really it for the news, but that's not it for the show as much as Jeremiah would like it to be, because one of the things we do, because it's always a downtime towards the end of the year, we do a lot of coming up, what happened, and one of the things we always do every year is our most anticipated. Whoa!
What?
Sorry, I had to mute this. All of a sudden, I got music in my ear. Our 22 most anticipated things of the year. Actually, last year we only did 21, and the year before that we only did 20. And so
coincidence.
What did we do the year before that, Doobie?
I don't know. Actually, did we do it the year before
30.
that? 30. Did we really?
No.
Oh. We may not have done before that. So, Mike Celestino put this video together. We pulled the whole LP staff and rated what we wanted, what we were most anticipating, and did some funny averaging to make sure my choices ended up front. And we have our top 22 things we're anticipating this year. So,
well, one of them has already happened.
Yeah. So the year can end.
We are right on top of things. Whoa.
So, but now I got a message to read. I miss my wife so much. All right. So we did this. I have our 22 in front of us. I've kind of put a star by the theme park related ones that made our final list. And I just want to discuss it with you guys and kind of see how much we anticipate these things. So number 22 on the list was the opening of Avengers Campus at Disneyland Paris. Now, I've never been to Paris. I doubt I'm going to go in 2022. I have no particular anticipation for this. I'm still anticipating seeing the one in California. But how about you, Mike?
I have been to Disneyland Paris. What is going to be different about their Avengers Campus? They have a Iron Man roller coaster, right? That used to be the Rock and Roller Coaster.
Yeah, they have the Iron Man coaster and pretty much web slingers, but that's the only major difference that we know of is the coaster at this time.
And are you really looking forward to that, Jeremiah? I know you're a world traveler. You get to Paris at least once a month.
I am looking forward to it, just because Walt Disney Studios Park is, when I rank my parks, spoiler, that will be the lowest.
Is there anyone for whom that's not the lowest?
Well, I'm looking forward to the new Cars Land or the Cars expansion, just to watch the poor tanker truck die. But the Avengers Campus, I'm looking forward to that. And then the expansion of Frozen and Star Wars, that'll all be interesting. But the Avengers is really I think the key part of that is to see the major difference between Anaheim and Paris.
Right. Okay. Like I said, I'm only going to touch on the theme park or the theme park related ones. 21, The Return of Fantasmic at Disneyland. Mike, this has to be really anticipated for you.
I am excited to see that show again. Yeah, for sure. I always enjoyed that every time I've watched it. So I will be there, I'm sure, on opening night, whenever that may be.
Celebrating 30 years this year, I believe. 1992. Is that right, Jeremiah?
Yep.
30 years. Dang. I am very excited. Fantasmic is the thing that hooked me on Disneyland. The first year I started going, I went back day after day after day. I probably saw Fantasmic 60 times my first summer at Disneyland. Yeah, that's about right. Because I would see it multiple times. It would play 3 times every night, and I would see it 2 or 3 times every single night.
I miss the old 3 times a night almost as much as I miss. Remember how it used to have like 5 different languages before the
I know.
Japanese and all of that.
And every now and then, if it was crowded enough, they would actually add a 4th showing of Fantasmic.
Yeah.
And I would do them all. I had my spot right over Pirates, and I would hang there all by myself because I had no friends, much like now, and just talk to tourists and had a great time. So can't wait for that to come back and see it again. Moving up to 19 was Typhoon Lagoon. We already talked about that. 18 is something, I don't know how it even made our top 22, let alone 18. But that would be the return of World of Color at Disneyland Resort. Either of you guys care about this?
I mean, again, I'm probably going to be there opening night. I prefer Fantasmic as a show, but I have seen World of Color a bunch and enjoy that as well.
I look forward to doing it just because it's a reason to stay there that late, but it's really not like, it's as the at Knott's Scary Farm a couple of years ago when they did the hanging and World of Color started, they did this whole parody of it where the whole thing was it's water.
Exactly, that's all it is. But I just
wonderful world of water.
Our very own Tony Betty, I think the only thing he loves more than World of Color is his beautiful fiance. So that's why I tease. All right. Moving on up to number 14, Walt Disney World's Fantasmic will be returning, and it's going to have a new scene. They're doing something new there. They're bringing in, I'm sorry, what is it again, Jeremiah?
Aladdin, Frozen, and Moana.
And I'm guessing they're probably getting at least rid of Pocahontas.
Yeah.
How excited are you for this?
I'm excited just because it's something new for Fantasmic. Like the Fantasmic out here is always ranked low for me. Just because it was never quite the Disneyland version, and even with the changes to the Disneyland version, it's still not quite the Disneyland version. But it'll be something fun to see. I look forward to seeing the new additions. Hopefully they give it a lot of TLC because the mountain, last time I saw it, you could see through it. So.
Yeah, I'm excited. The Pocahontas segment actually happens to be my favorite segment of that show, so I'm a little disappointed in that respect, but hopeful that they'll bring in some really good stuff to replace it.
Hold on. Tony, Fantasia is one of my favorite films, and I still don't care about World of Color.
So I thought he was referring to ice cream, and I'm fine with Fantasia ice cream.
Oh, Fantasia ice cream.
Have you seen the Fantasmic or the replacement in Tokyo?
I've not seen Sea of Dreams. We actually have a video up on our YouTube of the Fantasmic from Tokyo Disney Sea. And that was a really impressive show, but they kind of took everything and went, hey, let's shove it all together. It was definitely second behind the original Disneyland version.
Gio's hoping that we get something more than the clothes hanger dragon. Of course, they redid the dragon at Disneyland, and so now a lot of people would like them to redo it at Disney World too.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's been announced. So my guess is, and the one when they did it at Disneyland, I think it's fine now. But when that first opened, they had so much trouble with it. So, all right, moving on up the list. Number 9 is the Disney Wish, which I think that's a new cruise ship or something that's coming.
Something like that, yeah.
Coming in June, I think. Yeah, this is easily the most exciting thing, not only in the world of Disney, but in the world happening in 2022, in my opinion. What do you guys think of the Disney Wish?
I could not be more excited. Like I've not had a chance to be at one of the big cruise line opening things like you have, and I don't care. Well, I care if I get to go on it or not, but really just to be there for that massive pomp and circumstance is what I look forward to.
I haven't. I did not do the Disney Dream one.
You
I
didn't?
can't remember. Someone else did it. I can't remember why I didn't do the Disney Dream one because I know I didn't go on the cruise. And I got to go on the Disney Fantasy Maiden Voyage, but its pomp and circumstance was up in New York, so I didn't do that either.
Mm-hmm.
So I missed the pomp and circumstance, but frankly, I want to be on the ship. That's Mike. You got some excitement over the Wish?
I have been on the Fantasy for a cruise and really enjoyed it. I am looking forward to checking out this ship, especially the Star Wars Hyperspace Lounge, which speaks to me personally.
Yes.
It will speak to you a lot when you get in there.
So correct me if I'm wrong, but that Star Wars Hyperspace Lounge is pretty much the most exciting resort type Star Wars thing happening in 22, right, Mike?
It's not even the most exciting Star Wars themed bar coming to a Disney park or resort experience.
You hope.
I hope.
All right, so that was the Disney Wish, which once again is the most exciting thing happening in the entire world in 2022. But somehow higher on our list was number 7, Star Wars Galactic Star Cruiser. Go.
I hope people's expectations are so low that it can only impress them.
I don't think it's going to be a problem for any of us that go there just expecting it to be the coolest thing in the world, because I'm sure it will be the coolest thing in the world for us. It's more of the doobies of the world that are going to be who we turn to go, so what did you think? And he'd be like,
But the doobies of the world, I mean, it's not cheap. The doobies of the world may not be doing this ever. I'm not going to be gambling 6,000, or let's be real, 6,000 is for a family of 4, so I shouldn't even call it that. But I'm not even going to be gambling $1,500 for a Star Wars theme thing. It's just not worth it to me, no matter how great it is, probably. But if it does make the people like Mike happy, who know Star Wars a lot and are willing to put forth that money, and it meets their expectations, then I think it's they did a good job. I don't know if the market's there. That's not, but I care more about Disney doing a good job than whether or not they make money. They'll be okay.
Yeah.
What is your anticipation? Do you think, forget the money, put the money aside. Do you think the zeitgeist when it opens will be, yeah, they actually did nail this, or?
Jeremiah? I really hope that they nailed it. If you're, wait, sorry, were you going to Jeremiah?
No, it doesn't matter. No one was talking, so I said a name. Okay. I know you hope they nailed it. What do you think?
Do I think that they nailed it? It's such a tricky thing to predict because I feel like we know a lot about it, but we haven't seen a lot of it. It's also a tough time because, like my former boss Ricky Briganti was saying on Twitter, like he wonders how much the COVID restrictions are going to affect the experience in the early days of Galactic Star Cruiser, because it is basically an experience where you're trapped inside for 2 days and are encouraged to intermingle with other people, like close quarters and stuff. So I don't know how badly that's going to affect things, or if things are going to be different by the end of March. Who knows? It is tough to put my finger on where this is going to land, but I do have faith in the Imagineers who created it and the Lucasfilm people who were involved. I do think they're all very talented and know what Star Wars is all about and what makes a good immersive theme park type experience as well. It's such an innovative concept that has never been done before on this scale that it's going to be difficult, but I'll say yes. I say yes. It's going to be worth.
There it is. Mike
I'll land on the positive side. Yeah.
Mike is calling it right now. Take that, all you haters out there. Mike Celestino, the smartest Star Wars guy I know, says Galactic Star Cruiser will nail it. We'll nail it.
I hope so.
How about you, Jeremiah?
I don't think that there's going to be any problem. I think that no matter what, there will always be the haters that will find, Star Wars Galaxy's Edge is one of the most beautiful, immersive areas, and people still whine and complain about it. So you can't please everybody. I think, like Mike said, going in with lower expectations, people will be blown out of the water. Going in with my expectation and Mike's expectation of what we know and what we've experienced through our years at Disney and different theme parks, it's not the same. To Gio mentioned in the comments about there have been some recent misses. I really can't think of something in the WDI world in the past. I think the last thing that I would really say was a big miss was Rivers of Light, and that wasn't even WDI, that was entertainment. Yes, sir.
Again, this isn't WDI, but Kite Tails.
Well, Kite Tails isn't even that big of a disappointment. Everybody loves it. The opening day, everybody made fun of it because they were like, "Oh my God, the kites just crashed." But you go there now, kids are loving it. Like, it's playing to packed arenas.
Okay, I'll take your word for that.
But I don't think that. I think if you go in expecting it to be the end all be all, you're going to be disappointed because there's nothing that'll ever be the end all be all. If you go in expecting it to be a fun time and knowing that it's Star Wars come to life, you're going to fall in love with it.
I got another failure for you. Sorry, reading the comments. Navi River Journey.
But is it a disappointment, or is it because everybody built it up to be the biggest thing in the world when it should be treated as a small, not even a small world, a El Tempo del
No, there is no way WDI, Disney, intended Navi River Journey to be on the same level as El Rio del Tiempo.
Well,
please, Jeremiah, I'm going to stop you right there. I know you're a glass half full type person, and you look great in yellow, but you have crossed the line.
From Joe Rohde himself, the original concept of Navi River Journey was just that, a smooth little boat ride. And they ended up kicking them more money towards the end, but they didn't have any place to put the money because the small little river journey that was meant to be the C ticket for the E ticket was already designed and built into it.
Oh, man.
What
there's a word for you, Jeremiah.
How about Storybook Land?
That's not the word. Oh, you mean compared to just Storybook Land? It has maybe the most advanced animatronic we've ever seen, yeah. And it's got this whole, at least to me, new technology of the way they do the projections and the waiting on the leaves. Those two things go far beyond El Rio del Tiempo or Storybook Land or Small World. It doesn't lack for budget. It doesn't lack for scale. It just lacks. But this is my humble opinion. Actually, I know a lot of people who really love it, so we don't really have to go down this road.
Oh, I don't really love it. I think it's just anybody that waits more than 20 minutes for that, I think, has got some damaged brain cells. But it's beautiful, and the animatronic is amazing. But is it a great attraction? No. But it's not. I don't think it's a miss as far as Gio, please put in the comments what you think one of the recent misses is.
Mike, you've written El Rio del Tiempo. Nope, you've written Navi River Journey, right, Mike?
I've done it, I think, about maybe 5 or 6 times. Yeah.
Well,
I really like it. I wouldn't wait more than half an hour for it, like Jeremiah said. But if I had to choose right now between doing that or Flight of Passage, I would choose River Journey.
You're the one that called on him, Dewey.
I know who I'm working with here today. Flight of Passage is such even more. I mean, every attraction has people who love it, people who don't. But I know some people who Flight of Passage is just like the ultimate emotional experience. They come off in tears. It just blows them away. And other people are like, eh. And it's unusual to have a big ride, create that huge range of emotion. Usually it kind of really skews one way or the other. But I know a lot of mad people for Flight of Passage. Are you one of those mad people, Jeremiah?
No, I will definitely go on Flight of Passage anytime I'm in the park. I definitely am the little tear up when you're sitting in a cave or when you see the sunset. or a cheer when you're flying down that little path.
Okay, so Navi River Journey is debatable. I will agree with that. I know a lot of people who really love Navi, and I think that the technology is cool, the animatronic is cool. It just doesn't really hit home for me and a lot of people. This other one Geo gave, I think the consensus is much bigger that this, as enjoyable as it is not nearly as good as it should be, and it's kind of a WDI miss. Millennium Falcon.
See, I like
I think
Millennium Falcon.
it's a great one-time experience. I don't think I agree that it doesn't have rewritability.
But you do think it's a great one-time experience?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Do you, Jeremiah? What do you think of Millennium Falcon?
I enjoyed it a lot. I've definitely ridden it multiple times in a day. Yes, it has the problem of, if you're not one of the pilots, you're kind of sitting there just playing Simon Says. But the overall, I mean, the rewritability, I think there's some different. If you pay close enough attention, everything is being rendered in real time, so there's some cool stuff to see if you're just staring at the screen the entire time. But people love it. I talk to people that love that more than they love Rise.
Who, other than my wife?
There's kids that like video games.
Yeah, that's all it is a video game. I don't get Falcon. I honestly, that's one where I truly believe is a miss. I realize it's a hit with people who like video games, who like the interactive, but I feel like it should be a hit with a bigger segment than that. And I don't want to sit there and do all this stuff. And if I'm just watching the screen, I can't even tell what's going on. Maybe I'm old. All right. Do you think if they added multiple missions to it, you'd enjoy it more, Mike?
Yes. Yeah. I keep wishing that would happen. And I think I was a little confused when I went to the media event, because at that point, I think I still thought there were multiple missions when I got there. And I asked the Imagineer that I was interviewing, I was like, so if I come back, like, will it be a different mission every time? And he had to like correct me. I was like confused by that. I thought for sure it was multiple missions, even to the point where I was boarding the ride.
Did you argue with the Imagineer and say, no, you're wrong. There are multiple missions.
There's multiple missions, right?
Donna likes Navi, but not worth what it takes to ride it. See, calm and relaxing, it is that, but that's not what that ride should be in Avatar Land, in my humble opinion. All right, let's move on to the number one thing that we're looking forward here to at Laughing Place, which also happens to be a theme park thing, and it is the debut of Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind coming to the Experiment. Jeremiah, tell us a little bit about it and why it rightly is number one.
This one, surprisingly, I hadn't had a chance to watch our video, so I didn't know what number one was, but I'm very surprised by this, so I'm excited. I started watching it last night just so I could catch up, and I'm like, I can't get through it right now.
It's number one.
Yes, this attraction, I think, we all, going back to 2014 when Guardians of the Galaxy movie came out, I can remember being one of the few people that was singing the praises before the movie came out, just because I knew the characters and I knew it was fun. So I had a feeling that the movie would turn out to be lots of fun, and James Gunn is part of it. Everybody, that was one of those perfect storm movies. I think everybody looks at that and goes, yeah, that's still one of the best Marvel movies without it being deep in the Marvel movie cinematic universe. And then Mission Breakout, I can vividly remember coming back from Shanghai. No, sorry, I know, Doobie, you're going to jump on me. I don't remember where I was, but I made a comment to our CEO about how this attraction, whatever attraction I was arguing, was one of the best attractions ever. It must have been Pandora. It must have been Flight of Passage, because it was right around that same time, saying that was one of the best attractions. And then he goes, have you been on Mission Breakout yet? And I was like, it's Tower of Terror. Come on, how good can it be? And I remember getting off that ride and going, yeah, that was one of the most fun attractions ever. So Cosmic Rewind, I think, can't do anything wrong, with the exception of making people sick, because it's a omni coaster and turns and has multiple launches, but it is designed more for a family than Icebreaker is.
How about you, Mike? I know you're a huge Marvel fan. Are you can't wait to ride this one?
You know, you say that, but I am a big Marvel fan.
That's
I'm
what I
just
just
not
said.
Okay.
Sarcastically.
I keep bringing up media events, which it sounds very privileged of me, which yes, I am fortunate
International
enough.
Parks, media events.
Yeah. So
Average
I got
Joe.
to go to the opening media event for Mission Breakout, and it's one of my favorite memories of theme park journalism in my long illustrious career. But I liked it so much that I like paid for this ride photo, which I never do. I don't care about on-ride photos at all. But they just left us on the ride, and they were like, just stay on as long as you want during this media event. And I wanted to see, because there's 6 different songs you can get, and I wanted to get all of them. And it took me, I think, 10 rides in a row to get all 6 songs. So I did it without taking off my seatbelt, and by the end of my 10th ride, all the other journalists had left because they were getting like motion sick. So I had to buy, like, I was like, this is never going to happen ever again. So I had to buy my photo of me on the ride by myself during the media event. And it's still one of my favorite rides at the resort. It's one of the few rides I go on almost every time I'm there, because it is, randomized in that way, and you always like root for certain songs or whatever. Then at Halloween you have Monsters After Dark. Yeah. So yeah, and I'm a huge fan of the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, and I like accessible roller coasters that are not like Six Flags level intense, but are, more than a kiddie coaster, which it seems like it will be. So I think, yeah, between the theming, the level of excitement that'll go into the ride and stuff, and its location, I'm really psyched about it. And I know people are complaining like, oh, it doesn't belong in Epcot or whatever, but I don't know. I'm less resistant to change these days. So
you know why they're complaining? Because it doesn't belong in Epcot. But
it is the first Etherly World Showcase Pavilion.
I am looking forward to this because it's going to be a fun coaster, and anything to keep Epcot going strong, I'm a fan of. I am not a huge fan of Guardians of the Galaxy in general, so certainly putting in the Epcot, where Future World used to be this pristine, futuristic thing that nobody cared about, kind of saddens me a little, but the world is what the world is. Moana's coming, whatever's coming, Guardians can come, as long as it keeps Epcot going strong. Yeah. And they don't take too many liberties, I'm okay with that. So it's exciting.
My wife and I keep talking about doing a big Walt Disney World trip, because there's still a bunch of stuff I haven't seen at. Well, we want to go to like Islands of Adventure. I haven't done the Hagrid's ride or whatever, a couple things over there, but also like people, obviously Rebecca keeps recommending the water parks to me, and I'm like, I've never been to Typhoon Lagoon, so I got to do that. And we want to take my mom to what's the SeaWorld like interactive
Aquatica?
No, Discovery Cove. Is that
Discovery Cove. Sorry.
Icebreaker?
Yeah.
It is a family coaster.
So like that, we're kind of waiting for Guardians to open to plan our next big trip down there. But
good.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. So that was the number one most anticipated thing in the world of Disney. The theme park ones we went over. Are there any theme park things you're anticipating that didn't make our top 22, guys?
Theme park or Disney?
Theme park.
Iron Gwazi.
Because of our show. What did you say?
Iron Gwazi at Busch Gardens.
Is that like another family coaster?
Yes, that will be the ultimate family coaster. Gwazi was a wooden coaster that's pretty much the center of Busch Gardens. As soon as you walked in, that was like the biggest coaster there. And they're doing what they did to Colossus a few years ago, where they put steel track on it. Mm-hmm. It will be the ultimate family coaster. I think this will be bigger than Icebreaker for the families.
Wow. Okay. For breaking up families when mean parents convince their kids to ride it, they never talk to them again.
Or vice versa, yes.
Excellent point. How about you, Mike? Anything coming to Disneyland maybe or something? That
I'm looking forward to Ghost Town Alive coming back to Knott's Berry Farm. I really hope that happens this year because they didn't do it this past summer. It's my favorite theme park thing that's not Disney or a ride. It is an immersive theater type thing, sort of in the vein of what they're going to do at Galactic Star Cruiser, but this is 8 hours rather than 2 full days long. So, I mean, it's still pretty ambitious and really cool. And I just used to love just hanging out there and just interacting with the characters and stuff. So I hope that comes back.
I must admit, I am hoping that through some confluence of whatever, I end up back at Universal Studios during Halloween Horror Nights. I would happily go again with that same crew. I really hope that happens. I'm now a fan, at least, of going with that crew, the LP crew.
That's the other thing I really would like to do is do Orlando for Halloween, because I've never done that with hopefully with other LP guys too.
Yeah, we should do something like late September when it's not too busy at Horror Nights, and then we could also do Bush and everything else. Although, as we've learned this past year, Mike, you and I can't go anywhere from like 1st of September through October 31st.
I
won't be going on vacation for Labor Day this year.
Oh, is that what our schedule says? I don't know. Yeah. Gio says he's looking forward to the All-Star Sports reopening. That's legit. No problem with that. Oh, happy birthday, see in March. Any recommendations that can make a 26th birthday more magical at the Magic Kingdom? Jeremiah, that seems right up your alley.
I would say do Be Our Guest for dinner. I'm not a big Be Our Guest fan, but it's definitely a magical spot for a dinner. If the fireworks cruises are back, that's always really special and really nice. I know that we have tours coming back out here. So, we didn't talk about that in the past, that the tours are returning to the parks out here. So
right.
Go do one of the tours out here, especially if you can do like the Keys to the Kingdom. That one is really fun.
And get a button. Don't forget your birthday button. See, Gio's got that. Yep. That's like one we always recommend. Get your birthday button. All right, let's see. A couple other things I wanted to mention on our show. Tony Betty has been going beyond the berm lately. Disneyland Resort, unlike Disney World, is not the size of San Francisco. It is the size of like Union Square or something. So a lot of stuff you want to do, you've got to go outside the berm. He's been taking a tour of some of the hotels and some of the fun stuff. And he put up an article on Garden Walk and specifically Huckleberries, which is a fun restaurant at Garden Walk. It's a chain, so you may have one in your neighborhood. I actually have one down the street from me, but it's also at Garden Walk, and it's really yummy. He took you there. One cool place to go outside the berm. It's really short walk from the front gate of Disneyland. Be sure to check that out, as well as the rest of the outside the berm articles he's done. And then the king of ranking, who is Luke Manning on our website, has decided to rank the top 5 Joffrey's coffee locations at Disney World. And I got to admit, when I started this website back in 1999, I did not anticipate an article ranking the top kiosks run by a third party spread around Walt Disney World. But yet, here it is. So I love fun articles like this. Check it out. I want to see what his number 1 is. See if Jeremiah agrees. I know he's a big, huge coffee fan.
The Tomorrowland one.
Speaking of Knott's Berry Farm, I liked Luke's top 10 Knott's attractions.
Yeah, that one's been huge too. I've seen that everywhere. In fact, I'll bring that up in a second because I know you're a big Knott's fan. Do you agree with Revive, Jeremiah?
Yeah, that's probably the most, I don't want to say perfect one, but it definitely is well themed, has some good options. And it's right there next to Space Mountain, so it's a good option to choose instead of going and waiting 3 hours at Starbucks. I haven't looked at his article. So let's
speaking of waiting 3 hours, I will in a second. But speaking of waiting 3 hours, Jeremiah, how was your trip to Gideons today?
That's right. I went to Gideons. Do you have the pictures?
Keep talking.
Okay. So Gideons each month has a special cookie. Kind of a theme. This month it is the banana, and their cookie was banana bread chocolate chip cookie, which I looked at and went, yes, I will get that right away. And then they always do art. Each month they have a character, and for some reason this month looks very familiar to somebody that we know pretty well through the Disney universe, but apparently it wasn't known by him until somebody tweeted him the picture of it, going, "What is this?"
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. When I'm streaming, Twitter goes so slow. I'm trying to find it. I'm sorry.
I don't think I put it on Twitter.
Oh goodness, it's just in an article.
No, it was on Instagram and on our Facebook.
Oh boy.
Here, I'll send you the picture really quick. I know how.
I can get it. I can get it on Facebook.
Okay. So went out there, got the cookie. So very good. Like I love banana bread, so it was an easy. But then you throw in the chocolate chip. And it was actually only probably about 15-minute wait. They didn't even have their virtual. It was just stand in line.
Seriously?
Yeah, everybody was coming up and looking, and the line was, down to Morimoto's, but it wasn't too bad, even though a lot of people were looking, going, "I'm not going to wait that long." Yeah.
So Joe wasn't aware this was coming, huh?
Nope.
Surprise!
Yeah, and as pointed out, yeah, that's Joe. Like, there is no question that that's not Joe Rohde.
Notice the ear. There is no question. It's the Joe Rohde.
Even without the earring, just looking at it and the mustache and everything, I'd be like, "Oh yeah, it's Joe Rohde." But yeah, the earring is a dead
giveaway. So Jeremiah working hard.
Yeah.
You didn't do it. You didn't tape your eating the cookie.
No, I didn't want that face. Trust me, I was expecting the message from you after I posted the pictures, but no, it was very good. The review I got of the cold brew, which is the banana cold brew, it tastes more like a banana slushy than a coffee. So,
Woody's Roundup Barbecue, will that be opening in 2022? That's a good question we've got out there.
Yes.
Don't know. This is in Toy Story Land at Hollywood Studios. It's been announced. They're working on it, but we don't have a date yet. All right.
Yeah.
So I should have had this on the list. I forgot. You guys are both huge Knott's fans, know the park really well. So Luke ranked the top 10 attractions at Knott's. We'll just go through real quick. Just give me your quick boom, boom. He's nailed it or... All right. Number 10 on the list, Knott's Berry Tales in its current incarnation.
Should be higher.
Oh. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I have this thing against screen-based attractions. I know I'm wrong, but I don't love it. I've done it a couple times. It doesn't appeal to me. I like how it smells. It smells nice.
It's much more the nostalgia part of it for me, because as a kid I rode the original Knott's Berry Tales, so. But that is also far better than the previous 2 attractions that were in that location. So,
all right, that was number 10. Number 9, Calico River Rapids.
I love what they did with it. I love the improvements they made, the new animatronics and theming a couple years ago. I'm into it.
Yeah, I think that should be higher too.
Me too. I would say higher, yeah. Because
Oh,
there's roller coasters coming up that I don't care about.
Number 8, Sierra Sidewinder. No.
I think I've done it twice ever.
Yeah, I know I did it once when it still had the camera on there, that I watched the footage and went, "Wow, that is probably the worst thing I've ever watched." And I've seen some of the other movies that we've done, but yeah, that should not be on the list at all.
Number 7, Montezuma's Revenge.
Another one that I don't do very often at all.
Oh. Montezuma's Revenge is a true classic. I probably would have put that at probably 3 at least.
Wow. All right.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think Jaguar made the list, by the way, which is shocking.
See, we do Jaguar all the time, and I just don't care about Montezuma's Revenge for some reason. Jaguar, I like longer roller coasters that are a little calmer, I think, or more
I call Jaguar the people mover coaster.
Yeah, exactly.
Look, there's that ride. There's that ride.
What's not appealing about that?
All right, number 6, you've got Accelerator.
I think I've done it twice again.
I enjoy Accelerator. I think that's a good spot for it. 5 or 6.
Number 5, Hang Time.
I attended the opening of this. It's pretty fun. Again, not my type of ride, but it is a good coaster, and the suspense is pretty cool and fun.
Number 4, which should be number 1 in my opinion, the Calico Mine Ride.
That would be my number 2.
Yeah, I'd say that should definitely be higher.
Definitely a classic in every sense of the word, and a classic attraction. Number 3, we've got Ghost Rider, the Woody that everybody loves.
Number 1.
That would be my number 3, which it is here as well. It's less painful than it used to be when they reprofiled it.
I believe that was the tagline when they reprofiled it too. Less painful than it used to be.
I do love these old-fashioned style roller coasters, though this one is only like 20-something years old.
Yeah.
Wait a second. I remember when this opened. It's been 20 years.
It's like late 90s, I think. Yeah.
Number 2, we've got Silver Bullet. I have a feeling both of you think this is a terrible ranking for this attraction.
It is far too high.
I would have put it at like 4 or 5. I don't know, but I'm not a big roller coaster guy, but this is a decent one to me.
It's a good coaster, but it's a coaster. It doesn't fit Knott's. Like I'm guessing what number 1 is a true Knott's original. So I think this should be lower than like Montezuma's Revenge.
What are you predicting number 1 is, Mike?
Oh, I already know what it is, and it is also my number 1.
And Jeremiah?
It's the Calico Log Ride, which I would have put like 2.
Timber Mountain Log Ride.
Yeah.
I think the most controversial thing I've ever said about this ride, which I've often claimed is my favorite theme park attraction anywhere, is that I would like it just as much if it didn't have drops.
Wow. Is it that good inside there? What makes it so special? I mean, Pirates,
Here's my theory about why I love this ride so much. I feel like when you go on a Disney theme park attraction like Pirates of the Caribbean, which is my favorite Disneyland attraction, they're always telling you where to look. Like you're passing the pirates that are dunking the guy in the well on the right. There's really nothing going on over here. When you're passing the auctioneer, there's a few pirates like watching on the other side, but you definitely know where to look on Pirates or other Disney rides. On Calico Log Ride, you can't look at everything because there's things happening all around you all the time, and I just love that madness of it. I love that breaking of those rules, and it's just chock full of it does feel a little, I would say, hokey or kitschy, maybe, but I love that about it. It feels very homegrown for a themed log ride, but it is the original themed log ride, I think. And, there's that photo of Tony Baxter looking at it on opening day, thinking about how do I build Splash Mountain someday at Disneyland. But I just love it so much. And I could, that's a ride I could stay on. If they just let me go through, I would stay on it all day long. If it didn't mean I'd have to walk around with wet shoes for the rest of the day.
I was literally just going to say this, Kyle. Mike needs to write why this is my favorite ride in the world. Seriously, because your passion for it and as happy as it makes you is infectious. That's wonderful. That's awesome.
I think my downside of it is I recall what it was before Garner got in there and put in his Hokeytronics. And it was, even worse back then with the 2 guys with sawing the log and the bad wolf and everything.
That's not there anymore. The 2 guys saw. That's my only memory of this ride when I was a kid.
They have it, but it doesn't look as mannequin-y as it used to be. No, I really enjoy it, but I think one of my biggest problems is you get wet, and it's not one of those that you don't get wet. You almost are guaranteed to get wet on that one.
I have another thing I would like to add.
Yes.
I think the first time I ever went on that ride was in the late 90s when they did an overlay for Knott's Scary Farm, and it was themed to The Legend of Sleepy Hollow.
Yes,
And
I remember that one.
that overlay was so awesome, and I fell in love with that ride immediately. I think that night I might have gotten out of that ride and gone immediately back in line to get on it again. And I wish that they would bring that overlay back. Right now it's a Halloween Hootenanny, which is fine, and I enjoy that too. But that Sleepy Hollow overlay, I wish they would consider bringing that back at least for a year or two.
It had the horse that bucked back and was up there. Yeah, that was. I can remember that one. It's far better than the killer Santa Claus overlay that they did 1 year or 2 years.
I don't know if I saw that one.
It was bad.
Well, I think I want to do a new segment here before we close out. So Restream. By the way, that was again rankings by Luke Manning. He's got a ton of those on our website. The latest one is the top 10 attractions at Knott's Berry Farm, and whether you agree or disagree, always a fun read. A new segment we're about to debut before we close out today's show. So Restream, the software we use for this show, has a new feature allowing you to put a little star next to comments to make them group together and be able to see easier. So Kidder, who is the master of the facts on our show, had quite a few throughout. So the three of us are going to decide if these are fun facts or not. So I'm going to call this segment Fun or Just Facts. Fun or Just Facts. And I'm just going to go down the line. If you think it's fun, raise your hand. Majority rules. Okay. Number one, Pomp and Circumstance in Fantasia 2000 featured Donald and Daisy as Noah and his wife.
Oh, definitely fun. Yeah.
All right. Got a fun fact there. The Galactic Star Cruiser does not actually go into space for real. No, that's just a fact.
It would be fun if it did go into space. That would be a fun fact.
Different kind of fun. Guardian of the Galaxy is owned by Marvel.
That's a fact.
Just
definitely a fact.
Not fun. There will be a D23 convention in September of this year.
Let's say that's fun.
Yeah,
it's a fact. It's
you know what? It's fun. It's a fun fact. I'm putting my hand up.
It's fun. It's a fact. It's a fun fact.
Those are two separate things. The expo is fun. That's a fact.
So you're saying the fact that it's a fact has to be fun.
However you want to define it. The
definition of a fun fact should be that both things it's a fun.
So you're saying if someone says Disneyland exists, that's not a fun fact just because Disneyland is fun.
Correct.
I see what you're doing there.
That's fair. And Donna, I didn't stall because it was the Star Cruiser. I stalled because the fact was that it doesn't go into space, which is less fun than if it actually went into space. But I don't know. Maybe it is fun that if it's convincing enough, maybe it is fun
That's
that
true.
it doesn't go into space.
When we get that Hydra later, it's going to be very convincing.
Dude, don't even go there.
Did you didn't do Space 220 yet, did you, Doobie? You guys didn't do that?
Sure did. That was one of the best experiences of my last vacation.
That was a convincing.
Yeah.
So
those things always convince me. I'm
if Galactic Star Cruiser can do half of what Space 220 did.
All right. Mission Breakout used to be known as Tower of Terror at DCA. Fun fact?
I don't even know if I'd call this a fact because it used to be known as Tower of Terror.
Oh, Terror of Terror. That's a turkey leg. Forget popcorn.
Sorry, Kidder. I'm just nitpicking.
Wait, are we giving it a churro or turkey leg? Is that going to be our ranking here?
And one more fun or just fact. Busch Gardens has two theme parks: Africa in Tampa and Europe in Williamsburg.
I'll say this is fun because it not only is it a fun fact, it's a fun fact that I didn't even know because I've been to both of those and I never realized that one was themed to Africa and one was themed to Europe.
I will give him the fun fact vote.
All right. So I think Kidder got 3 fun facts out of this collection. Thank you very much, Kidder, for always contributing fun or facts to our show that we get to decide if they're fun or not, and also for knowing our schedule better than any of us do. Really appreciate it. You must have left already because you haven't commented anything. So I hope this gets back to you somehow because we really do appreciate you.
I hope that you didn't leave because we said some of your facts were not fun.
I doubt that.
I feel like the fun facts have outweighed the not fun facts.
Because he used to put fun fact : and then I said,
now he lets us decide.
Hold the phone. We get to decide. So now we have an official segment to decide these things. All right. Well, thanks, Jeremiah. Thanks, Mike. Mike, we really want to read or or watch your passion over the log ride at Not Very Farm even more.
Well, I was just trying to decide what I'm going to do tomorrow, so maybe that'll be it. As
There
I
you
wait
go.
to watch Book of Boba Fett.
You could do a ride through voiceover of the entire thing.
That's
and,
a good idea
Oh.
too.
I actually have one that I shot on the day of its 50th anniversary. That's already on our YouTube channel.
I would
there you
love
go.
for you to take that and do a voiceover, do a commentary on it. That would be cool.
Make sure you comment whether the dinosaur is real or fake. Oh, I'm sorry.
All right. And Rebecca, I don't think you're watching today, but I miss you. Don't say a word. Love you, honey. Don't say a word. And I look forward to seeing you tonight. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Jeremiah. And goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.